Many people want success, but they do not always understand what success is asking from them. They think success is waiting for a special day, a lucky chance, a rich friend, a perfect idea, a big moment that suddenly changes everything. But for most people, life does not change like that. Life changes quietly. It changes when a person wakes up and decides not to repeat the same mistake again. It changes when someone chooses focus instead of distraction. It changes when a tired person still takes one small step. It changes when a person stops blaming life and starts building skills. This is the truth many people miss. Success is not only attracted by talent, it is attracted by the person you are becoming every day. One young man named Daniel learned this slowly. Daniel was not lazy in his heart. He had dreams. He wanted a better job. He wanted to speak English more confidently. He wanted to earn more, feel stronger, and live with more peace. But every evening, he looked at his life and felt the same quiet disappointment. His notebook was still empty. His phone battery was low because he had been scrolling for hours. His room was not terrible, but it looked like his mind, unfinished, crowded, and tired. He often said, "Tomorrow I will start." But tomorrow came many times, and nothing changed. One night he sat at the small table near his window. The city outside was quiet. He opened his old notebook and saw a sentence he had written 6 months earlier. "I want to change my life." He looked at that sentence for a long time. Then he understood something painful but useful. He did not need a new dream. He needed new skills. A dream can point you in the right direction, but skill helps you walk. A wish can make you feel excited, but skill helps you continue when excitement disappears. That night, Daniel wrote one new sentence under the old one. "I will build the skills that make success possible." This was not a loud promise. It was not a dramatic moment. Nobody clapped. Nobody saw him. But that quiet sentence became the beginning of a different life. The first quiet skill was self-discipline. Daniel used to think discipline meant forcing himself to do hard things all day. He thought disciplined people were naturally strong. He thought they never felt lazy, tired, or afraid. But later, he learned that discipline was simpler than that. Discipline means doing the useful thing before the easy thing controls you. It means opening the book before opening social media. It means starting the task before waiting for a perfect mood. It means keeping a small promise even when nobody is watching. The next morning, Daniel did not try to change his whole life. He did not make a huge plan. He only made one small promise. "Before I touch my phone, I will study English for 10 minutes. 10 minutes looked too small to matter. But small things matter when they are repeated. The first morning was not easy. His hand moved toward the phone without thinking. This was his normal habit. But he stopped, smiled a little, and opened his notebook instead. He wrote 5 English sentences. They were not perfect. Some words were wrong, but he completed 10 minutes. After that, something inside him felt different. Not because his English suddenly became excellent, not because his life suddenly changed, but because he had kept one promise to himself. That is how discipline begins, not with a big speech, not with perfect motivation, but with one completed promise. Many people lose self-respect because they break promises to themselves again and again. They say, "I will start tomorrow." Then they do not start. They say, "I will sleep early." Then they stay awake for hours. They say, "I will stop wasting time." Then they give their whole evening to distraction. Slowly, the mind stops believing them. But when you keep even a small promise, your mind receives a new message. I can trust myself. This is why self-discipline attracts success. It makes you reliable. First to yourself, then to other people. You do not need to feel ready every day. You only need to become the kind of person who can take the next step. The second quiet skill was clear thinking. At first, Daniel thought his main problem was time. He said, "I do not have enough time." But one weekend, he decided to watch his own day carefully. He woke up late. He checked messages. Then he watched one video, then another video. Then he replied to small comments. Then he felt tired, even though he had not done anything important. By afternoon, he said again, "I do not have time." But this time, the sentence did not feel true. He had time. He just did not have direction. Clear thinking begins when you stop lying to yourself gently. This does not mean you attack yourself. It does not mean you say, "I am useless." That only creates shame. Clear thinking means you look at your life honestly and kindly. You ask, what is really happening here? Daniel wrote 3 questions in his notebook. What is wasting my time? What is giving me real progress? What is one thing I must do today before the day becomes noisy? These questions changed his mornings. Before, his day began with confusion. Now it began with one clear task. Clear thinking is powerful because a confused mind wastes energy. A clear mind protects energy. Many people are tired not because they work too much, but because they think in circles. They worry, delay, compare, regret, and imagine problems that have not happened yet. The mind becomes like a room full of open windows during a storm. Everything flies around. Clear thinking closes some windows. It says, "This is important. This is not important. This is my next step." You do not need to understand your whole future today. You only need to understand the next honest step. Sometimes the next step is to clean your desk. Sometimes it is to apologize. Sometimes it is to study for 20 minutes. Sometimes it is to stop spending money without thinking. Sometimes it is to rest because your mind is too tired to decide wisely. Clear thinking does not make life perfect, but it helps you stop walking in circles. Daniel learned to begin each day with one sentence. Today, the most important thing is... This simple sentence became a small light in his day. The third quiet skill was communication. Daniel was not a rude person, but he often stayed silent when he needed to speak. Then, when pressure became too much, he spoke with frustration. At work, he sometimes said yes when he wanted to say no. With friends, he agreed even when he was uncomfortable. In meetings, he had ideas, but he kept them inside because he was afraid of sounding wrong. Then he felt invisible. One day his manager asked, "Daniel, why did you not tell me earlier that the task was unclear?" Daniel had no good answer. He had been afraid to ask questions. He did not want to look weak. But because he stayed silent, the work became more difficult. That day taught him something important. Clear communication is not about speaking loudly. It is about speaking honestly, simply, and respectfully. Many people think confidence means having all the answers, but often confidence means being able to say, "I do not understand this part. Can you explain it again?" That sentence can save hours of confusion. Daniel started practicing small communication. Instead of saying nothing, he said, "Can I ask one question?" Instead of pretending to understand, he said, "Let me make sure I understand correctly." Instead of accepting every request, he said, "I can help, but I need to finish this first. At first, these sentences felt uncomfortable, but slowly he saw that people respected him more, not less. Good communication attracts success because life works through people. Jobs come through people. Opportunities come through people. Trust is built with people. Peace is protected through honest conversations. If your thoughts are always trapped inside you, other people may never understand your value. If your words are careless, people may misunderstand your heart. So speak clearly. Use simple words. Use a calm voice. Listen before replying. Ask questions when something is not clear. Say no respectfully when you need to protect your time. A wise person does not use words to win every argument. A wise person uses words to build understanding. Before Daniel learned this, he thought silence was always safe. Later, he understood that silence is wise only when it protects peace. But silence becomes harmful when it hides the truth that needs to be spoken. The fourth quiet skill was time respect. There is a difference between time management and time respect. Time management sounds like a system. Time respect feels deeper. It means you understand that your time is your life, moving away minute by minute. Daniel began to see time differently when he noticed something uncomfortable. He was not only wasting hours, he was wasting energy, attention, and future chances. Every hour spent without purpose was not just an empty hour. It was a lost chance to become better. This did not mean he needed to work every minute. Rest was still important. Peace was still important. Family, friendship, and joy were still important. But he learned that rest should make him feel alive again. Distraction often made him feel more tired. So he created a simple rule. First progress, then entertainment. Not all day, not perfectly, just enough to protect his future. Before watching videos, he completed one useful task. Before scrolling, he practiced English. Before answering every message, he finished his most important work. This small order changed his life. Many people do good things, but they do them too late in the day, after their best energy is already gone. They give their fresh mind to the phone. Then they give their tired mind to their dreams. Daniel stopped doing that. He began giving his first clear energy to the task that mattered most. Some mornings, that task was English practice. Some mornings, it was work preparation. Some mornings, it was exercise. Some mornings, it was planning his money. He did not become perfect. There were still wasted days, but the pattern was changing. Time respect also taught him to say no. This was difficult for him. He wanted people to like him. He did not want to disappoint anyone. But he slowly understood that every yes has a cost. When you say yes to everything, you may say no to your health, no to your study, no to your peace, no to your future. So he learned soft boundaries. I cannot do that today. I need to finish my work first. I can talk later. I need some quiet time. These sentences did not destroy his relationships. They protected his life. Success is often built in protected time. If you never protect time for your goals remain only ideas. The fifth quiet skill was problem solving. Before Daniel changed, he reacted to problems with worry. If something went wrong, his mind immediately became heavy. Why is this happening? What if I fail? What will people think? Maybe I am not good enough. These questions made him feel smaller. Then one evening, his laptop stopped working while he was preparing an important file. His first feeling was panic. His second feeling was anger. He wanted to blame the machine, the day, the situation, everything. But he paused. He remembered a sentence he had written in his notebook. A calm mind finds more doors than a panicked mind. So he took a breath and asked better questions. What exactly is the problem? What can I try first? Who can help me if I cannot solve it? What is the next small action? He restarted the laptop. He checked the cable. He searched his saved files. He asked a friend for help. The problem was not solved immediately, but he was no longer lost inside panic. That day taught him the heart of problem solving. A problem becomes heavier when you only look at it with fear. It becomes lighter when you break it into steps. Successful people are not people without problems. They are people who train their minds to respond better. They pause. They observe. They separate the real problem from the emotional noise. They take one action, then another. Problem solving is not only for business or work, it is for daily life. If you are not improving your English, do not only say, "I am bad at English." Ask, what is the real problem? Do I need more listening, more speaking, more vocabulary, more consistency? If you are always tired, do not only say, "Life is hard." Ask, am I sleeping too late? Am I using my phone too much? Am I saying yes to too many things? If money feels stressful, do not only say, "I never have enough." Ask, where is my money going? What can I reduce? What can I learn? What small habit can help me? A good question can open a door. Daniel learned that complaining repeats the pain, but problem solving begins the repair. This does not mean you never feel sad or stressed. You are human. You will feel emotions. But after the emotion, return to the question. What can I do next? That question is small, but it is powerful. The sixth quiet skill was learning. For a long time, Daniel felt embarrassed because he was not where he wanted to be. Some people his age seemed ahead of him. They had better jobs, better English, better confidence, better lives. Comparison made him feel late. But one day, while walking home, he heard two children practicing English outside a small shop. They made mistakes and laughed. Then they repeated the words again. Daniel smiled. The children were not ashamed of learning. They were simply learning. He asked himself, when did I become too proud to be a beginner? That question stayed with him. Many adults stop growing because they hate feeling like beginners. They want to look smart. They want to avoid mistakes. They want respect before practice. But every strong person was once weak in the skill they now do well. The confident speaker once spoke with fear. The disciplined person once struggled with laziness. The successful worker once made mistakes. The wise person once misunderstood many things. Learning is not a sign that you are behind. It is a sign that you are still alive inside. Daniel created a simple learning routine. 10 minutes of English listening, 10 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of writing what he learned. It was not impressive. Nobody would make a movie about it. But after 1 month, he noticed something. He understood more words. He could speak a little more smoothly. He felt less afraid of simple conversations. This was the emotional payoff he needed. One evening, he opened his old notebook again. The first pages were almost empty. But now, many pages were filled with sentences, small lessons, mistakes, and corrections. He touched the pages quietly. For the first time in a long time, he did not feel like a person who only wished for change. He felt like a person who was changing. That is what learning does. It gives evidence to your hope. Hope without action can become weak, but hope with learning becomes stronger. It says, I may not be there yet, but I am moving. Continuous learning attracts success because the world keeps changing. Work changes. Technology changes. People change. Opportunities change. If you keep learning, you keep becoming useful. You do not need to learn everything. Choose what supports your direction. Learn better communication. Learn better English. Learn money habits. Learn focus. Learn emotional control. Learn one skill that can improve your work. Small learning repeated for many days becomes quiet power. The seventh quiet skill was patience with consistency. This was the hardest skill for Daniel. He liked starting. Starting gave him energy. A new plan felt exciting. A new notebook felt fresh. A new goal made him imagine a better life. But after some days, the feeling became weaker. This is where many people stop. They think the goal is wrong because the excitement is gone, but often the goal is not wrong. The person has only reached the place where consistency must replace excitement. Daniel had to learn this slowly. Some days he missed his routine. Some days he wasted time again. Some days he felt disappointed in himself. Before, one bad day became one bad week. One mistake became an excuse to quit. But now he practiced a new rule. Return quickly. If he missed one morning, he studied at night. If he wasted 1 hour, he protected the next hour. If he failed one day, he restarted the next day. This rule saved him. Consistency does not mean you never fall. It means you do not build a home where you fell. You get up. You return. You continue. Patience helped him understand that real growth is often quiet before it becomes visible. A seed does not look successful while it is under the soil. But something is happening. Roots are growing. Strength is forming in a place nobody can see. Your life can be like that. Maybe people do not see your effort yet. Maybe your English is still not perfect. Maybe your money is still not enough. Maybe your confidence is still growing slowly. Maybe your work has not opened a big door yet. But if you are building the right skills, something is happening under the surface. Do not quit just because the results are quiet. Many people stop too early. They plant the seed, water it for a few days, then dig it up because they cannot see the tree. But growth needs time. Daniel kept going. After several months, his life was not perfect. He was not rich. He was not famous. He did not suddenly become a different person. But his mornings were better. His English was better. His work was more organized. His words were clearer. His phone controlled him less. His confidence was quieter but stronger. One evening he met an old friend who said, "You seem different. Did something big happen?" Daniel thought for a moment. Nothing big had happened. No miracle. No lucky phone call. No sudden success. Only small things repeated. 10 minutes of learning. One clear task each morning. Better questions during problems. Respectful communication. Less wasted time. Quick returns after mistakes. Patience when results were slow. So Daniel smiled and said, "I just started keeping small promises." That is the quiet truth. Success often looks sudden to people who only see the result. But to the person who lived the process, success is made of many small private decisions. The decision to begin again. The decision to speak clearly. The decision to learn. The decision to protect time. The decision to stay calm. The decision to return after failure. The decision to keep going when nobody praises you. These are the quiet skills that slowly attract success. Self-discipline teaches you to trust yourself. Clear thinking gives direction to your energy. Communication helps people understand your value. Time respect protects your future. Problem solving turns pressure into action. Learning keeps you growing. Patience and consistency keep you moving long enough to see results. You do not need to master all 7 skills today. Begin with 1. Choose one small promise and keep it today. Choose one distraction and reduce it today. Choose one honest question and answer it today. Choose one useful sentence and speak it today. Choose one problem and take one small action today. Your life does not need to change loudly. Sometimes the strongest change is quiet. It happens when you close the door, open the notebook, take a breath, and do the small thing you said you would do. And one day when your life feels more peaceful, more focused, and more successful, people may ask what changed. You may not have a dramatic answer. You may only say, I learned how to build myself slowly. That is enough. Because success is not always attracted by the loudest person, the fastest person, or the luckiest person. Very often, success is attracted by the person who quietly becomes ready for it. Remember this final line. A better life is not built in one perfect day. It is built by small, quiet skills practiced again and again until the person becomes stronger than the old pattern.